Yo, what is good, YouTube? What's up, PlayStation Nation? Jay Barry here, and I'm back with another video. Here to talk about some Final Fantasy VII, more specifically, Rebirth and Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core Reunion. You know, the remaster for, Crisis Core, the PSP game. So, the reason why I'm doing, both games in one, because I feel like it's a collective, and all of these games these games do tie together. And yeah, so we got some small information when it comes to Rebirth, but I'm going to talk about Rebirth after I talk about the whole reunion stuff that Katase and Nomura pretty much broke down in like IGN articles. We have a Eurogamer article, we have Famitsu article as well. Which I, read all of the articles, and I just want to give my thoughts and opinions and stuff that, been relayed to us. So let's get into Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core Reunion, because what they're saying here with Crisis Core is that they pretty much wanted to give like a update when it comes to Zack, when it comes to the combat system in the game. So here we got from the official Final Fantasy VII, page, just saying the gameplay is also getting an update with Zack's attack combos now being linkable to limit breaks, being accessible at any time, not just when they pop up in-game slot machine known as the Digital Mind Wave System, or DMV. And in the first trailer, the reveal trailer that we saw in the game, I noticed a lot of change. I noticed some changes when it came to the combat. Just the layout in itself is different. Where you have like your materia and your potions, and your magical spells like materia, your potions and all that stuff. It was changed up a little bit within the game, and I noticed that there were certain things that it were canceling and linking in within the game. That the Digital Mind Wave little slot machine thing was still up there. In the original, not in the original, but in the reveal trailer. But I know it's like, yo, the combat looks a little different. You know what I mean? He's doing certain things that just look different. At first, it wasn't processing me, but I was like, oh yeah, I definitely caught that it was some changes happening there. When it came to the combat, which is cool, because one of the biggest things that I said when it came to Crisis Core is that, yeah, I would love to have like a remake or a remaster of this game, but you're gonna have to modernize the controls and the gameplay with that game, because it was made for a handheld with one analog stick, you know what I mean? So I knew when if they were going to bring this game out again, there was going to be some changes, especially when it came to the combat. But what they're also saying here, according to the IGN article, is that Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core Reunion, the dev says it will be a very faithful retelling of the original story. So I don't think we're going to see like drastic changes or any kind of type of changes when we go into the playthrough of the game. There might be some different concepts at the end of the game, but I think that's throughout the whole entire story up until the end is going to be true to what they're trying to say, or how the original game was. But I do think there's a purpose for this remaster and them calling it Reunion, due to the big part that Zack is going to be playing when it comes to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and just that remake in general. We know Zack is going to be playing a big part in that game. So yeah, man, this is good to hear. This is good to hear. Also, they're saying here that that Reunion, Crisis Core Reunion, on PC they're aiming for 120 frames per second, and on Xbox, PlayStation 5, they're aiming for the 60 frames per second. When it comes to the Switch, they didn't really give like a target or a goal as far as when it comes to frame rate, but it is what it is when it comes to that. But they said that they got fully voiced. The game is going to be fully voiced. They're going to have new arranged like music and scores for the game, which hopefully they have like the classic, and you can switch between the newly arranged one and having the classic. But I'm all for this remaster, man. I love Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core, or however people want to say Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII. I love that game. Zack is such a great character. But I love Zack in general because I feel like if you're like a Cloud, fan, if you like that character, Cloud Strife, you definitely have to like the origin of what pretty much built up Cloud, and Zack is definitely a part of it. But a lot of people always excuse or not include Angeal, in my opinion. I feel like if you like Zack as a character, there's no way you cannot like Angeal, you know what I mean? Because everything that Zack is about, he pretty much kind of learned that from Angeal, honor and the soldier, and pretty much carrying that legacy of what Angeal wanted him to learn, you know what I mean? So yeah, man, I'm for it, yo. I'm for it. And there was some small little tidbits here and there when it comes to, Nomura and Katase and the Final Fantasy VII Remake projects in general. They say that there's no like plans for Dirge of Cerberus or Before Crisis. The thought has came up, but currently they have no plans for those games yet. Which makes sense, because if you're focusing on just the original Final Fantasy VII game and you want to, remake that game, and we know it's going to be, 3 parts, that's going to be a big focus. You also have Reunion, you have the smaller games, you have the Battle Royale game on mobile. There's a lot of projects that you're doing right now, so I can understand Dirge not having anything planned right now, or even Before Crisis having anything planned right now. Before Crisis is going to be a major one in my opinion, because I feel like a lot of people missed out on that because it was very limited how you could have played that game. You know what I mean? Also, they're saying here Nomura still considers Final Fantasy VII to be considered, or the 7 games to be considered. So pretty much the entirety, the continuity of Final Fantasy VII, everything is connected. So you saw certain things like Nero in the game, you saw Weiss in the game, because they letting you know, yeah, those things were in Dirge of Cerberus, or those characters were in Dirge of Cerberus, but they let you know that this world that they built for all these years and all these games, they all connected, which is common sense if you play those games. But sometimes you gotta let people know. He's like, oh, why you bring this character out here? I heard, all these Google gamers, they Googling shit like, oh, this character was in Dirge of Cerberus. Where's the Dirge of Cerberus remake? Which I said I want to remaster that game, because I feel like the controls can get updated in that game, and that game will be so much different, so much, because the story is good. It's just that gameplay was a little rough, but I still enjoyed Dirge of Cerberus. And Before Crisis, I think it's an important part, especially when it comes to the Wu-Tai War and the Turks and all that stuff. I think that's very important to learn about that stuff, because yeah, it's connected. So let's get into some rebirth stuff or remake stuff, where Katase Nomura, they said that they wasn't really sure if the game was going to be, the remake project was going to be 2 games or 3. Now we know that it's 3 games, because they officially announced that. But there was a time where they was thinking it might be 2, but then it went to 3, which I always was in the mindset that it was going to be 3 parts, because from that first game, the first remake with Midgar and how they rebuilt that stuff, if they're going to take that time and attention to detail within the world of Final Fantasy VII, I was like, there's no way there's going to be 2 games for that. You know what I mean? There's so much story that they added on and building upon. They can do that for like a lot of the major towns and cities that you go to in 7. You know what I mean? So you can add on additional things, and I'm like, yo, that's going to take a lot of work. I think that's going to take a lot of time, and I don't see that being done in like 2 games. You know what I mean? But that was just always my mindset when it came to that stuff. So they also spoke about some things as far as the scene where Cloud and Sephiroth is walking in the reveal trailer for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and they're pretty much saying that is a new scene. Like there's a lot of stuff in Midgard that we saw are new scenes, but it was on top of something else that was in a part of the original game. This is a new scene though, but it's on top of what was already there. So he's saying, Nomura is saying that, Nomura is always like, I can't really say much because I would get in trouble, but yo, please stay in tune. Don't listen, the information is coming, but I don't want to get in trouble. Nomura, he want to talk. Nomura and Katase, they definitely want to talk. And Katase, that's my guy. That's a legend to me. I love that dude. You know what I mean? That dude is a hero to me. You know what I mean? If you guys been following me for a while, you already know my vibes when it comes to Yoshinori Kitase. So he's pretty much saying that yeah, that's a new scene on top of the remake, you know, Rebirth or whatnot. But yeah, they're saying that yeah, they can't say too much. They don't want to spoil too much, but you're going to be very excited at what they're building upon, because like I said, they're building that relationship, they're building that conversation, that past, flashback and stuff, that, you know, Cloud is retelling the story of what's going on with like Sephiroth and why he's doing what he's doing. So here is the English version of the Famitsu article that Kitase said. It would be nice if we could imagine the original work there as well. Leaving Midgar, I felt like, come on. I don't know where he's going with that, because they're pretty much saying that looking at the distance to the destination on top of the screen, the field seemed to be quite wide. Nomura is saying here he can't say much, and then Kitase is saying that it would be nice if you could imagine the original work there as well. After leaving Midgar, I was like, come on, you know what I mean? So they're pretty much talking about the openness of the game, because everybody caught on to that. It's like, yo, that destination that they're going to is like 1,000 and something meters away. That's a pretty large little sub world that you're traversing through. And also they're pretty much saying, the question was asked about, you know, Zack carrying Cloud into Midgar, and Nomura was pretty much saying that, well, I think you can feel the openness of the departure of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Please look forward to Zack, as he will be an important character within the game. So pretty much saying that as he will be an important character in an important position. So he's gonna have a major part to play within Rebirth. You know what I mean? My bad when I'm messing up reading like that, because I'm reading the translation, and some of the stuff that's, you know, when Google Translate, it doesn't really make any sense here. But yeah, man, I'm very, very excited for this stuff. We got some tons of information drop, man. You know, little bits and little pieces here and there when it comes to, you know, these two games that, you know, is coming. One is coming this winter, the other one is coming next winter. So if you want to look at it in gaming standpoint, it's not too far away. You know what I mean? There's a goal, there's a destination there that we can cling on to. But yeah, I like the little information drops. Hopefully they don't really spoil too much, you know what I mean? Which I respect that they're not doing it. You know, even though we have these questions and we asking these questions and we want to know information, it's still fun to like speculate and, you know, anticipate what's going to be going on in the game and all that. But yeah, man, let me know your thoughts in the comment section, guys, on, you know, Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII reunion. You know, will you be picking that up? Are you interested in learning about Zack and the origins of like Final Fantasy VII in itself? And Rebirth, man, how excited are you all for Rebirth, man? Because I'm super excited. It's going to be a PS5 exclusive game, so that means they can take full advantage of what PS5 is doing right from the rip. You're not going to be waiting a year, you know, like, you know, with Integrate, which is still great, it's still cool, but it's still developed from a PS4 game. But yeah, I'm excited for this, man. I feel like it's going to be a crazy Final Fantasy, you know, year for 2023, man. It's just so much information that we're going to be getting when it comes to Final Fantasy and the Final Fantasy VII in general, because there's still Ever Crisis that's coming and all that good stuff, man. So yeah, I can't wait. I'm looking forward to doing more videos like this. Let me know if you guys enjoy. It's your boy Jay Bari, and I'm gone. Deuces.